Good evening. I'm here in the horror cave with one of my good buddies, Tim.
How are you?
And, I like to kind of go over, I like to sit here and speak with Tim tonight. You might have noticed my last upload on the Horror Stash channel that, I had a nice little nifty intro and some kind of special effects and some, it's better quality than what you're used to coming through from my channel. Um, that's all due to this man here. The credit here goes to him. When it comes to technology, I'm not the greatest, but it's a good thing that I got Tim here with me. He's going to be helping me out. He's going to be a great addition to the channel, helping me out with all the technological gadgets and editing and special effects. So if there's anything that you don't like about the special effects,
Blame me.
blame Timmy. Yeah. So I'd just like to start off by thanking Timmy for his help with the last upload and the willingness to get involved in this little charade we've got going on down here. And
It's not a charade anymore.
and just have a little chit chat with Tim tonight and kind of familiarize. You won't really see him much after this, maybe a little bit from here and there, but he's going to be
Only on special occasions. I'll be heard but not seen.
exactly. So
If that.
I mean, sometimes I wish that I wasn't seen either, but but we're just chilling. We're having a couple beers, hanging out in the horror cave, and I gotta ask, why do you want to get involved with this process with me?
I'm getting involved because I have nothing else better to do with my time. No. You have started out with such a collection, and now it's to the point where you could open up your own museum. So, well, your friends are always wondering, why aren't you opening up your own museum or getting something?
Well,
I mean, everything takes time and stuff like that. So
the thing with it is most of you know that I've been collecting for years and years and years, everything from horror memorabilia to true crime artifacts and signatures. And it's come to the point where, museums are kind of, it's a shame to say, they're kind of going out of style a little bit. Everything is online. Everything is, everything is more through the internet nowadays. So
there's no more hands-on anymore.
no more
That's
hands-on.
what you can do with the keyboard.
Exactly. I would love to have a museum, don't get me wrong, but I just think that the first step would be to highlight everything that I got here in this room and then down the road see where it goes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I said, you gotta build a super collection. You can do tons of rooms. Right now, you got everything in one room, but yeah, a lot of the creatures. I mean, actually, a lot of the creatures. Some of them you see around. Casey actually made himself. So, like, what is that? The Harlequin in the background. He completely made that himself. It's been creepy building, but it's been really fun getting really close to. Yeah.
Now, you and I have been talking, and some of my other friends that aren't really here, about different ideas and which way, I'm kind of going with the YouTube channel. All my friends know what I do. They all know that I'm a creepy bastard, and and they know that, and I think they're creepy just like me. It takes one to know one, right?
Yeah.
So
Should I go grab your human skull over there?
So the thing with it is Timmy and I were talking earlier. I want to try and use this platform of the Horror Stash channel to try and do different things. I want to try and go on road trips. Obviously, all these things cost money, and I sink all my money into the Horror Stash cave down here on collectibles. But
the bonus part is gas and usually admission are pretty cheap. It's when you start purchasing the thing that's when the price starts getting skyrocketing. But to go see a lot of these things and maybe get into some conventions or something like that, that would be more my avenue. Start to get you to get into some conventions.
Right,
get some
right.
press passes, and we can at least go stop some people. Whether you're famous or not, we could just ask normal people walking around, how they got there themselves, how they got into horror, what draw them in, what really got them locked on to wanting to collect stuff. And it takes a lot of want to be able to create and recreate these things. You've had to see the movies, hundreds of times just to be able to get a lot of the points down and stuff and really know about them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My
Yeah.
hat's off to you for a lot of this
No,
stuff.
I
A
mean,
lot of the busts and stuff like that you did yourself.
yeah, some of them I did myself, some of them I purchased, and there's a following for this stuff. I mean, I'm not the only one. I mean, you out there in YouTube land know that there's a niche for this type of thing.
Every other week,
Yeah,
you're saying you bumped into somebody that had this, and
it's a it's a habit at this point. It's kind of a bad habit because it's a lot of money, but it's a hobby. It's a habit. But yeah, no, that's my point though. I want to try and start, going to some. We just went to the Monster Mania convention a couple weeks ago. I want to start, and that would be a perfect time where you could come with me and we can use some of your video equipment. Guys, you can hear me clear as a bell. I know it because I have a camera right here on my lapel.
we've got some good gear now.
We got some good gear.
Good
the
gear.
The shit that I was dealing with is
we'll
like ancient history. It's like old time soup can technology. So
I'm to start somewhere. You started somewhere. I'm starting some. We're starting somewhere.
It's about time that we up the channel. We got just over 3,000 followers, and I got to give you guys the quality that you deserve. I want to start expanding the platform to road trips, to haunted attractions,
maybe interviews.
Interviews. I want to do some interviews like what we're
Skype
doing right now.
Live interviews. Whoever is local, willing to stop by. Just
all of that. We want to do all of that. And like I said, I'm psyched. I'm psyched to have you helping me with all this. I'm just, before literally it was a one-man show, but now I'm going to grow an army, guys. I'm growing an army. You're going to be my general.
Now it's starting to sound.
But no, I mean it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And like you said, we all got to start somewhere. I kind of started this channel as kind of just I don't want to say a joke, but I started just to try and showcase some of my collectibles, and I could tell that you guys really like seeing this stuff with all the comments and everything. So it's time to take this little sideshow circus to the next level. But there's a couple other things before we go that I want to talk to Timmy about, because like I said, he's probably going to be the man behind the camera and doing all the editing and special effects and whatever, what have you. I want to ask you a few things. Do you like horror movies?
I do. I like horror sci-fi. So if you think aliens movies, because I'm a real big fan, a super fan of the type of horror movies where it's real gore, real effects, none of the digital stuff. So if you go to the John Carpenter's The Thing, you see the creature actually mutating out, you see arms spitting everywhere. It adds a realism to the movie that CGI cannot duplicate. I don't care the Avengers CGI, all that stuff. There's something primal about that. When you watch the original Stephen King's It, there was something primal about seeing Tim Curry with dental extensions in and seeing stuff. It made him real. It wasn't like someone's head ripping open with all these teeth, although that is appealing, but it's just not, that's not for me. I'm
sure.
And it's not because I grew up in the 80s and such. It's just because I have an appreciation for creatures and for the puppeteers and the Henson Company and stuff to make those things. Because now the CGI, it can pay a kid Fortune 500 price to knock out that stuff versus 20 people in a creature shop that went to art school and could paint masks and do stuff. So
I agree. I think the good old-fashioned special effects are better. But being that you're so into, special effects through, computers and all that, CGI, I would have pegged you as being into creating through the digital world. But that's cool to know that you're into the old school style.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up the movie It, because a lot of people don't like the new remake, not just because Tim Curry's not in it, but because of all the CGI that they added with the fake, with the CGI teeth that are, it kind of looks like, I can't.
Can you imagine an 88-year-old It? It would be Tim Curry in his wheelchair. I mean, God love him, God bless his soul. But it would be Tim Curry in a wheelchair running those things. It's not the same anymore. So it's either grow and adapt or leave it alone. And on some movies, I wish they would just leave it alone. But unfortunately, we are now in a society and a time where they think the remake and the rerun is hot. And in some things it is, in others it's ruining it. And it's ruining the original because they're not going with the continuation. They're starting from the original and doing it. It'd be great if they just did a continuation of something and found some way to fit it in. Now, sometimes that can be bad. A lot of people had an uproar with Prometheus and how they did that, going back to the Alien movies, how they tied it in. I thought it was great because it tied in the planet where the original aliens started off at, and it showed you that the aliens themselves were just creatures. They were just, animals. I was dumb because when I first saw the first Alien movie, I assumed that the aliens that were going after Sigourney Weaver and all them, I assumed that they built their ship and built all that stuff. And I was wondering why this smart alien was creeping around in tunnels and primally eating something like it's a wolf, and then got a little smarter later and realized, oh no, they were actually creatures, and they tied it into other things. But I really just like the real effects and everything. It's just it's almost unexplainable at a point. You just have to feel it, and I feel it in watching those effects and stuff like that. Yeah,
there's nothing. I mean, sometimes older, is better. I mean, they just, everything. Now, I gotta admit, some of the stuff that they recreate nowadays, I mean, it is, everything from the sound, the audio, to everything. I mean, back when for audio, they would use the same screams. I got a good buddy of ours that actually picks up. He can hear the screams in one movie that was the same audio used in another movie. Like someone
like watching a George Lucas movie.
Yeah, like someone falling out of a building, right? The same falling out of a building.
What do they call that? There was a few famous screams. I know one's the whelm scream, and I want to say that's the one that you hear in Indiana Jones whenever somebody's getting thrown over a balcony on
I don't
fire.
want to duplicate it, but I mean it's
the whelm scream.
So we can
tell you what it is, but we can't play it. So you won't hear it here.
Although
good call.
Maybe he can edit that in so we can hear that. I don't know. But yeah, well, just one more thing before we go. Just one more thing, and. We are drinking two different beers. That's just the way things happen here. He likes the Yingling, and I like.
I brought another one besides this one.
He's geared up, but I want to ask you, am I going to have to compensate you for helping me out here? Am I going to have to pay you?
What kind of friend would I be if I started asking for money for this?
So this isn't going to cost me.
If you start making money, then that's another. If you start monetizing these things,
okay,
then
all right,
that's a different story.
Fair enough.
I would never ask you for anything.
Fair enough, because now.
See, if you're not making money off of it, I wouldn't ask you for money. But if you start, I would hope. Hey.
See, I got him on camera saying that. It's copyright now.
Horror Stash owned.
But see, he'll edit that right out, so I'm damned at either way. But no, so that's all I have for you guys. This is just kind of where we're going with the channel. I'm happy to say that Tim is part of the Horror Stash Club now officially. This is video proof. Okay, guys, so. I don't want to hold you up here. We had a lot of fun tonight. I had a blast down here just shooting the shit with you. And thank you for the willingness to be part of the Horror Stash crew.
My pleasure.
We will get there in time. We will get there. You guys will love it. You guys will love the special effects. You will love the quality. You will love the shit that I show you. It is going down. Down to Chinatown.
Down in Funky Town.
But on that note, I'm going to cut you guys. I know, Tim's got places to go. I got things to do. And
actually, he just wants to throw me out of his house.
Actually, I need to grab another beer is what I need.
Or that.
But again, thank you, and let's stay tuned. I got some good, cool, quality videos coming your way now. All right, guys, talk to you later.